What's going on, YouTube? Thomas L here. Oh, and happy Halloween once again. Now, I recently just did my 10 favorite horror movies of 2010s, 2009, 2010s, 90s, and 80s. So now I'm going to do my 10 favorite horror movies of 70s. So with that being, because there's some pretty good horror films that got released that decade as well. So with that being said, here's my list. Alright, coming in at number 10 will be the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is a musical classic. You got Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon. Let me pull up the cast list. Oh yeah, Barry Bostwick was really good in this. Oh yeah, Meatloaf. Wow. I keep forgetting Meatloaf was in this. Now, Rocky Horror Picture Show is a horror musical film. You know, it had some really good music to it. You know, you even had, Tim Curry as Dr. Frank Furter is iconic. Susan Sarandon, of course, was amazing. This is pretty much a cult classic, and you know it gets screened at lots of theaters around Halloween. Like for example, like Rocky Horror Picture Show is actually being shown at AMC tonight, and I mean it's a classic. You know, it's good music, good cast. Gotta love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And the one that got, like, the live televised event that got released on Fox was also pretty decent. But the original Rocky Horror Picture Show is where it's at. Alright, coming in at number 9 will be Dawn of the Dead. Now, this was, of course, directed by George A. Romero, who was a zombie mastermind. Dawn of the Dead is just a classic. It's iconic. Of course, Zack Snyder directed a remake decades ago. The remake was pretty good on that Zack Snyder did, but the original is amazing. Like, the zombie kills here are gruesome, and it's 80s, not 80s, it's 70s style horror fun. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen the original the original Dawn of the Dead, why did I almost say Shaun of the Dead? Give Dawn of the Dead a go. If it wasn't for a horror film like zombie films like that, we probably wouldn't have Walking Dead and countless others. Really, if it wasn't for George A. Romero, period, we probably wouldn't have Walking Dead. Alright, coming in at number 8 will be Black Christmas. Now, this is a Christmas horror film where a killer is killing girls in a sorority during Christmas time. Margaret Kerr, aka Lois Lane from Superman, was actually in this. Let me pause on that. It's a shame she passed away. She's iconic. Now, Black Christmas was actually released a few years before, a few years before she played Lois Lane. So there's that. But yeah, Black Christmas. The original is pretty good, and I'm one of the few people who also dug the remake that got released years ago. If you guys haven't seen Black Christmas or its remake, check them out. They're actually really solid Christmas films, and they're solid horror films as well. All right, coming in at number 7 will be Suspiria, of course, the original. Now, there's also the new remake that just got released, which looks cool. But the original Suspiria is a classic. Let me post on that. It got released in 1970. 1977. Let me put the year. Oh, it got released in 1977, and it was also directed by Dario what's his last? Oh, wait, Argentino. It's a really stylish horror film. It is like this horror movie will actually make you sick at times. The kills in these things are really gruesome. I also cannot wait to check out the remake. I'm gonna probably check that out on Saturday. But the original is an all-time classic. It's pretty much a cult. It had a cult following after its release, and it's a classic. If you haven't seen the original Suspiria, check it out. It probably has some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in a horror film, and it'll also make you sick if you're not into this type of stuff. All right, coming in at number 6 will be The Omen, which of course is a horror film that features Damon, who's the son of Satan. I mean, The Omen is this movie makes a lot of people not want to have kids. Damon is one of the most creepiest kids you ever want to see in a film. This had Gregory Peck at. It was kind of interesting. Icon like Gregory Peck in a horror film like The Omen. That was pretty cool to see. Speaking of Superman, it was also directed by Richard Donner, who went on to do Superman. And yeah, the kid who played the Omen was also really good. And there was like some kills in this thing that will shock you. I mean, there's like a decapitation scene that a lot of people was shocked when they saw. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the original Omen, give it a go. It's a horror classic. All right, coming in at number 5 is Carrie, of course, the original. It starred Sissy Spacek as the role of Carrie, who has like psychological, kind of powers, if you will. And it's of course based on the book by Stephen King. And you had Piper Laurie as the mother, which was amazing. It had pre John Travolta, like a really young John Travolta. Carrie is, I mean, this movie is really creepy. Sissy Spacek probably gave one of her best performances as the role of Carrie. And come on, Carrie is a classic. If you guys still haven't seen the original Carrie, check it out. Especially if you're a horror fan, I think you'll probably appreciate Carrie. I also didn't mind the remake that got released years ago with Chloe Moretz. I kind of dug the remake, but the original is where it's at. Number 4 would be The Exorcist. Now, this was a game changer of the possession genre. You had Linda Blair Linda Blair in this is super creepy. I mean, there's some creepy stuff that happens in this. I mean, where Linda Blair turns her head around. You don't want to look at Pea Soup the same way. Max von Sydow as the priest was incredible. This was directed by William Friedkin, and it's definitely one of the best exorcism movies ever. Yeah, I mean, it scored a few Oscar nominations, which is kind of cool because not many horror movies scores Oscar considerations, but The Exorcist is incredible. It's so darn creepy. It's scary. I mean, this movie actually messed people up when they first saw it back in the days. I mean, on this special called Eli Roth's something horror. I forgot the actual name. But Quentin Tarantino was talking of how lots of people actually went to therapy. When after they saw The Exorcist. That's how messed up of a movie this is. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Exorcist, check it out. I think you'll probably appreciate it. Coming in at number 3 will be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, who doesn't love Texas Chainsaw? You know, Leatherface is an awesome killer. This was like the first major slasher movies of that era. You know, Tobe Hooper directed this. He did an amazing job with it. And I mean, Leatherface is actually technically based on the character of Ed Gein. You know, probably Google Ed Gein because he was a sicko in the 50s. I mean, when you talk about sick, I mean sick. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw, you know, Gunnar Hansen as Leatherface is amazing. And of course, after this, there was plenty other Texas Chainsaw films that came after. Because Leatherface, he's an iconic character, so we're going to see more of him in the future. Alright, coming in at number 2 will be Jaws. Of course, this was directed by Steven Spielberg. And it got released in 1970 something. Let me look the year. Okay, it got released in the summer of 1975. I mean, this movie was a horror phenomenon. You know, Steven Spielberg, it had a giant shark. This movie made lots of people not even want to go in the water. That's how horrifying this film was. And the shark, come on, who doesn't love the shark in this? And of course, there was a few other sequels that came after this, which most of them we don't talk about. The original is where it's at. You know, Jaws is iconic. It's one of Spielberg's best films. And definitely one of the best movies of the 70s, period. It's incredible. For every reason, if you haven't seen Jaws, check Jaws out. It's iconic. Alright, coming in at number 1. Coming in at number 1 will be Halloween, John Carpenter's classic. Let me pull up the year. The original Halloween got released in 1978, and it was pretty much Jamie Lee Curtis's breakout film. Oh, and speaking of Exorcist, believe it or not, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis was actually up for the role of Regan in The Exorcist. There's a little tidbit for you there. But Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween is amazing. I mean, I'm really glad she reprised her role as Laurie for the new one. You even had Nick Castle as Mike Myers, who reprised his role for the new one. Donald Pleasant as Samuel Loomis was amazing. Yeah, I mean, hey, who doesn't love Halloween? Michael Myers is such an awesome killer. Yeah, Halloween is, and the score of Halloween is probably the best score I've ever seen in a horror film. Maybe next to Jaws and Friday the 13th, but Halloween's score is. I'm so glad they used the original score back for the new one. That was pretty cool to see. But yeah, Halloween is it's a classic. It's a classic horror film. It was the game changer for slasher genres, and yeah, Halloween is just amazing. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my 10 favorite horror movies of the 70s. Let me do the rundown. Number 10, Rocky Horror Picture Show. 9, Dawn of the Dead. 8, Black Christmas. 7, Suspiria. 6, The Omen. 5, Carrie. 4, The Exorcist. 3, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. 2, Jaws. And number 1, Halloween. Let me leave it to you guys. What are your favorite horror movies of the 70s? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Thomas.